We're getting audio.
Number 23,
Gavin!
I'm
going to bring this to
24, Gabrielle. Number 25. Starting tonight.
Check the road. Good. They are good. The mics are good. Good mics.
First names here. Oh, well. I'm not going to throw them up too much.
Welcome everybody out there watching tonight as the Spruce Creek Hawks really try to create history tonight. The Spruce Creek Lady Hawks, if they win tonight, this will be their first trip to the Final Eight. So it's going to be a challenge tonight, Coach.
And a first basket is good for Flagler Palm Coast. Jayla Adams brings the ball up the court. Which should be a 3-2 matchup zone by Flagler Palm Coast. Tell you what, Coach, these two teams have played each other before. Creek has won both games by a combined total of 25 points. But as you know, playoff time, it's 0-0. Records mean nothing. It's win or go home, and Jayla Adams comes out hitting big right from the get-go. Got away with the travel there. Good press right here. I like that move right there, Coach.
Oh, that was nice. I really did.
She did well by not trying to force it.
I agree. She's got a good basketball IQ. She can tell what's available and what's not. This is a fast pace, Coach. I didn't know if I expected this.
Yeah, both teams like to get out and run the ball, and they're very familiar with each other, obviously. There's going to be no surprises tonight. I like the offensive rebound.
Oh, my
Going at it
gosh.
hard.
What
Had a girl.
effort.
Keaubrey Edwards.
Absolutely strong to the rack.
I'll tell you
And
what,
a steal.
these girls came ready to play. Coach, I might be off base, and I know it's early to make these predictions, but we're typically right around here. But I'm predicting a 15-point win for Spruce Creek. And they've started out 8-2. 8-2 Spruce Creek. Coming out on fire. Early foul. Carolyn Davison picks up her first foul. A lot of talk out there right now considering Ireland Davison as player of the year for the girls this year, Coach.
It's her or Jayla. It's got to be one of the two, I think. But I tell you what, they've got so many players that are really just important keys to what they do. Ooh, nice.
Great pass by Denika.
As a coach against the zone, that's the critical thing you have to do is your 5-man has to go down the middle and create that space everywhere else and draw defenders back under the cut. And once you do that, you create so many other opportunities. And so that's just perfect fast break basketball right there.
Well, you know, Spruce Creek does such a great job getting the ball up and down the court. They push the ball so well, forcing that defense. They cannot celebrate. Flagler cannot celebrate even to clap and applaud or give each other a high five after a made basket, because before you know it, Spruce Creek has gotten the ball up the floor already. And a little taste of Spruce Creek's own medicine there, unable to convert.
In and out by Ireland Davidson. Form looked great, though. I expect her to come up big tonight.
And that was a quick release, too. I haven't seen that a lot from Ireland, and I'm happy to see that, especially her going up to the next level, playing at college at Belmont Abbey University. She's going to have to be able to get the shot off quick and not settle as being just a set shooter. But she's demonstrated that she has the ability to be able to do that with that one release right there.
Creek is still up in this press. They've really forced the action. They want the pace to go up and down. And that's interesting because Flagler looks to be as athletic, or close at least, to Creek. So that's a good sign for them as they continue down the road, that they can compete against athletic teams.
Well, and good thing about it, Spruce Creek, is that these are such smart girls. Not only are they athletic, but they're great decision makers as well. And when you combine those two qualities, you've got a tough team. Just like that, that's a prime example. Denika, she saw the opening, she took it, didn't convert, but I like how they attacked. And that's Ellis for Flagler Palm Coast. Drive for the basket. Flagler on the break and the transition. 9-4. Spruce Creek up. 9-4. Just under the 4-minute mark in the first quarter. That's something at Spruce Creek you don't want to give up. You just can't afford to give up offensive rebounds.
That's two fouls on Ireland there, Coach.
2 quick fouls on Ireland. Exactly. Yoka. You checking in? Come over to the table. Yeah, you hate for your top player to pick up their second foul early in the first quarter. Fortunately for Spruce Creek, their depth is phenomenal. They are extremely deep in their personnel. And Flagler converts 1 out of 2 on that one. It's 9-5. Spruce Creek scoreless in the last couple minutes here.
Jayla just looks so confident with the ball.
Yeah, she sure does. That goes back to her being a 6th grader hanging out of the gym, being what we like to call a gym rat.
What a turnaround move by Jayla Adams. Just fantastic. Looked like a few steps in there, Coach.
I think so. I think Jayla missed a rotation on that on defense. I'd like to have seen her cut off that penetration from the middle. They might be able to get away with it tonight, but if they get to that next level, it's the little things like that that are going to count. When you got to stop that penetration, you should never let somebody penetrate the zone, certainly from the top of the key.
No doubt, Coach. It's basketball 101, and you really have to protect that paint. So we'll see what Creek does if they stay in this 2-3.
Strong rebound from Calvary Edwards. Oh, great pass.
What a pass.
You know, you love to see a pick and roll. That's NBA style stuff happening here at Ladies High School basketball.
And not all people can do that, Coach. What she did is she passed that off the dribble. She didn't pick the ball up and stop and pass. She didn't set. When you can do that, one of the first players really in the NBA to do that on a regular basis was Magic Johnson. And just so.
Well, I'd say she's in pretty good company.
She is very good company.
Heck of a drive, heck of a read. I love the hesitation. It's just, when you can score off a dribble, which is a lost art these days, Coach, the ability to create your own shot and shoot off the dribble. People these days, they go out and they shoot, they stand, they get a shot, they'll have a pass and they'll get a shot. Very few people master the art of shooting it off the dribble, and that just takes your game to that next level. Flagler unable to get anything in tonight. 16-5. Spruce Creek has jumped out ahead.
Reset.
Kiesia Edwards has checked into the ball game, number 30. Sister of Kiabri.
Sylvester is checking into the game.
It looks like they're going to hold off and let this quarter end up with about 20 seconds to go, Coach.
Which I think is a good thing.
Yoka Tassin is into the game as well. "17 seconds on the clock. Spruce Creek ball, 16-5 lead, Lady Hawks."
They're in a box set there, Coach. Let me see. They're trying to get a dive to the basket. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Give a shout out to our leader, Dr. Sparger, over there sporting a sweet hat, Coach. I mean, it's is that a fedora or is that I don't know.
It looks like one of those beret things.
A beret.
I have no idea.
I agree.
It might be a little. It might be a miniature umbrella, for all we know. I'm just waiting for it to spin around, and Flagler shoots it up. And that's it. After one quarter, Spruce Creek 16, Flagler Palm Coast 5.
all tournaments in the 2017 FASAA Basketball Championship. Visit FASSAA.org, the official website of the Florida High School Athletic Association. That's www.fasaa.org. And live and on-demand postseason coverage of Florida High School sports at www.nmhsnetwork.com. Brought to you by NMHS Network, the official.
Here we go, starting the second quarter now. Creek has the ball at half court. Ball in the familiar hands of Jayla Adams.
Good strong move. I'll tell you what, Coach, what I really find impressive about these girls is the spacing that they have out there on offense. I mean, they really are keeping tremendous spacing, and that forces the defense to have to decide, do I stay home because I've got a shooter that I'm guarding, or do I stop this penetrator? And it opens up that middle for the players to attack the basket and not just stay outside.
I agree, Coach. And it looks to me as though Coach Ham has got a lot of plays where he has weak side action coming across, which is just good basketball. That's just good coaching. You attack a zone from behind, and they've got so much movement on offense, they create matchup problems for Flagler.
Good high pick and roll again, and there it is again. You know, they've clearly spotted a weakness there on Flagler Palm Coast, the inability to guard the pick and roll. And when you can execute it to perfection like that, why change anything? Just keep going after it.
Coach, I think all 5 players can start a fast break off of Creek's team. I like how they are interchangeable that way.
I just noticed that as well with Kiesia taking the ball. The 5 player starting off the break. You got to feel good about if you're a coach, that all 5 guys on the floor, all 5 players can not only handle the ball but make good decisions when they had the ball.
Number 10, Ireland Davidson, a recent commit to Belmont Abbey University, is going to come back into the game. She's got 2 fouls, but she's an experienced player. She should know how to play with those fouls.
Well, and I like the confidence that Ham is placing in Ireland right now. Here you've got a senior, a possible player of the year that has gotten you this far. You don't want her sitting the bench the entire first half of a game. At the same time, you want her to be cautious out there, and you got to trust her to be smart and not pick up a 3rd foul, especially when you're up 15 at this time. You got to feel good in this situation.
Flagler from the outside. Long rebound. Back to Flagler.
Score is 20-5. Creek off to a nice lead. Ellis from Flagler Palm Coast. She can be dangerous, Coach. I've seen this girl play. This young lady plays since she was in 7th grade, and she is tough as nails. She's not necessarily have the ability to take over a basketball game, but she has so much mental and physical toughness that it's enough to get her team inspired and get them going.
Well, you certainly would be able to recognize that, being that type of player yourself. So I truly value your scouting and what you see out there. Coach, what do you think?
Thank you, Coach. I like to think I had the ability to take over the game as well. You left that part out. But, hey, that's okay. That's all right. We're here to talk about the ladies tonight.
I'll make a list of things you can do and read it after halftime.
Well, I'll work on your list. I might need another week, though.
Yeah.
Your storied career, Coach. 3 state championships, 4 Final Fours at Maitland High School. A storied career, folks, for Charles Brinkerhoff.
It was a wonderful time.
30-second timeout. 5:12 on the clock. Score is 20-8. 20-8. Lady Hawks ahead. This timeout is brought to you by, well, who wants to bring this timeout to the people today? How about a Polar Pop again? You know, I like to get a Polar Pop when I'm thirsty. They're only 79 cents, and after tax, you're looking at 85 cents. The Polar Pop at the Kangaroo gas station is where it's at. Folks, I used to drink a lot of soda. Coke Zero is my flavor of choice, but after having the vitamin water that is provided by the Polar Pop at Kangaroo, I'll tell you, I've been drinking less and less soda throughout my day, and therefore feeling more and more healthy throughout my day. Polar Pop, ladies and gentlemen. 85 cents, Kangaroo. And we're back. 5 minutes on the clock. Jayla to the rack. Does not convert.
Creek is still in the 2-3 zone. Oh.
Need a bounce pass in that situation there, Coach.
I agree.
You know, I'm not sure about that call, to be honest with you. At the same time, when you're away and it's playoff time and you're down by 8, typically you're going to get a call like that. At the same time, at least I'd like to see us step over, get in better position, and at least attempt to draw a charge in that.
I agree. You know, we've been looking at all the strengths of Creek. I think one thing that they need to work on or focus on the rest of the way in this tournament is their defensive footwork, their defensive spacing.
Hey, horn!
Flagler went to a man-to-man, and as soon as they did, Creek adjusted.
Hey, 20, Harry, you better know what you're doing.
Wow!
Whoa!
Wow!
What
Danica
a
Hamilton, an incredible drive, gets her own rebound, and throws a Michael Jordan reverse up. I don't know how she does it, folks, but I'm impressed. And it takes a lot to impress me, Coach. I've seen a lot. I've seen some of the greatest people who play this game, so it's hard to impress me. But that was impressive. This girl impresses me every night that I watch her play. Danica Hamilton, she can bring it. Jayla Adams answers. 24-13. Lady Hawks ahead. 3:15 on the clock in the second quarter.
Another rebound by Spruce Creek. And once again, another player starting the break.
And finishing it, Coach. And finishing the break. A phenomenal drive by Periana Sylvester, a freshman, a ninth grader with the freedom as a senior to take the ball to the rack. And that's what happens, Coach, when you give your players freedom. Freedom to mess up, freedom to make mistakes, freedom to be creative.
It's a trust factor, Chase. You have to develop that trust and that relationship between player and coach. No, goodness. Really good look down court, just a little bit over the head.
With that freedom given, you're going to have mistakes. You're going to have mistakes, but hats off to Coach Ham for giving his confidence, having confidence in his players to eventually make the right decision. Yeah, you got to reach in on that. No, you're working too hard to commit a foul at that situation. You've got them out where you want them. You're in the corner. You've got 4 defenders on them. By that I mean the half-court line and the out-of-bounds line that you used to teach about. When you break the court up in different quarters, you don't want to bail them out by committing a foul.
Creek still in the zone. With the rebound, Ireland Davidson.
You know, Creek doing a better job of not giving up any offensive rebounds as of late, as they were early on in the game. And with Flagler shooting the way they are, they might be shooting maybe 15 to 20% right now. And these girls are only getting one shot and making it only 15% of the time. That's good odds I can live with as a defender. I like the way the freshman handles the pressure. I like the way she can handle the pressure, Coach.
I agree. Want to see her get the ball out of her hands a little quicker. A lot of dribbling going on out top. Way downtown for Ireland Davidson. Off the back of the rim.
Offensive rebound, Yoka. And Flagler throws it away. We are under the 1 minute mark, 56.5 seconds on the clock. Spruce Creek ahead, 26-13. A nice lead, a good, comfortable lead. But as you well know, Coach, you've seen it, you've played in it, you've coached in it. No lead is safe in playoff basketball.
Not at all, and it's really only 13 points. And I say only because that's a gap you can close fairly quickly, and you don't have to get it all at once.
Well, especially as a three-point shooting team, which Flagler appears to be, they're just not hitting tonight, but they certainly let it go. You're looking at a four-shot difference in the game, 4-possession ball game. Those are the words I'm looking for, Coach.
You found them.
I'd like to see him hold for the last shot in this situation.
This is an area where most high schools I don't really notice whether or not they have end of quarter and end of half plays set up. But it looks like Creek does, no doubt.
It worked out for him. It worked out.
It really did.
Delana Gillard with the offensive putback. Delana, a transfer from Calvary, has really been a key addition to this Spruce Creek team. And Spruce Creek ahead at the end of the half, 28-13. Their defense has been stifling tonight against the Lady Bulldogs.
I agree, Coach. They're putting a lot of different players on the floor as well, which is impressive to me because as you look down the road in playoff basketball, you got to keep as fresh as possible. And it's hard to do. Of course, you want to win every game by a big margin, but also you want to make sure that your team is ready in so many ways. There's so many little nuances that go into coaching and playing in tournament play as opposed to any other time of the year.
Right you are, Coach. Right you are. Well, we're going to take a break here, folks. You guys enjoy the halftime of staring out into nothing on the court and listening to nothing from us.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Flagler has the basketball to start the second half. And Creek is still putting pressure out front. They're putting a lot of trapping. And I like it. I like what they're doing there because they're forcing the action. Flagler's come out in a straight man-to-man, so Creek has responded with some isolation for Ireland Davidson. Tough shot.
Now you want to be careful. Ireland in that situation almost picked up a cheap third foul after the missed layup, which is a common thing that players do a lot. If they miss a shot, they immediately pick up what we call a frustration foul, and that would have been a dangerous thing for Spruce Creek had she had done that. I like the penetrating kick. Good spin move. Draws the foul. Delana Gillard with a nice pivot spin move to pick up the foul and go to the line to shoot two. Spruce Creek up, starts the half out with 28-13. A 15-point advantage, right on par to finish with a 15-point lead, should the prediction hold true.
Coach, what do you think Flagler has to do to put a dent in this league? What do they have to do differently than they're doing right now?
They've got to attack the inside. They've got some size, but right now all they've been doing all night is settling for the outside shot, and it's clearly not going down. I don't see it. There you go. That was the situation. She had a line to the basket, but she insisted on staying out of the three-point range, and that's why that ball was thrown out of bounds, because number one was looking for that cut to the basket.
That's the third foul on Ireland.
Yeah, and that is the third foul picked up early for Ireland on an illegal screen. I'll tell you what, though, and I was going to make a compliment earlier. I really like how Spruce Creek sets screens. You know who years ago, back in the 90s, when I used to pay attention to the NBA, Aubrey Edwards taking to the rack with the steal.
Aubrey Edwards with the steal and the layup.
A bunch of players in the NBA were asked who sets the toughest screens. Great pass, good ball movement, knockdown.
Beautiful ball rotation, beautiful shot.
Spruce Creek off to a big lead right now at 34-13.
I like what Creek is doing right now, Coach. They're not pressing full court, but they're pressing in a half court set. So they're keeping it tight, and but still forcing the action, making it go fast, making them go north and south, up and down.
Yeah, Flagler just doesn't seem to have anybody that can really take over the game, and they're relying on that by making everybody put the ball on the floor, making these guys make plays. And so far, the game plan is working on both ends of the floor. So my hat's off to Coach Ham on this well-coached game thus far tonight, Coach.
Yeah, reduce those back.
Spruce Creek on the attack. And with a steal by Flagler. The worst of all scenarios. That just got worse. A foul on a shot that you don't take the ball out, and then they score, and then you commit a technical foul.
No, Coach, that's what we were just talking about a few minutes ago about frustration fouls. That's exactly what just happened with Danica, who's a heck of a player and a smart player, but she just let her emotions get the best of her in that situation, because it wasn't her fault, but a turnover was happening as she had possession. She was trying to recover. She just fouled out. Wow. That's 5 fouls on her for the night. But she went down there and committed a frustration foul. And then when that was called, she hit the ball, and you just got to leave that ball alone. But just like that, Coach, a 21-point lead has fizzled to just 14 now. And that's how you come back. 34-21. That can be exactly what you need if you're Flagler. Now, Coach, you're Spruce Creek. What do you tell your girls in this situation?
I actually tell them that not to change what they're doing. What you want them to do is remain calm, because they're going to take on the persona of the coach. So if you start screaming and yelling and fussing at them, it's not going to really do anything, and unless that's part of what you do all the time. So I think I would call a timeout in this situation.
Which, surprisingly enough, the timeout was called by Flagler Palm Coast.
Flagler.
I'm not understanding that timeout. But if I'm Spruce Creek, I'm very pleased with it. I didn't have to burn a timeout, and I get to stop their momentum. So I think that was a very gutsy timeout by Flagler. And you know what? That's a situation where you're kind of overcoaching a situation. You've got a momentum. You've got it swung in your direction. You've just scored 9 unanswered points, and you call a timeout. I'm not understanding that call, Coach.
Unless he wanted to make a change in his entire game plan, which is very real, as a real possibility. And he did. He moved back into his zone instead of the man-to-man they had been in.
And I think that's a bad move.
It's extended, but it is still a zone.
Ireland from long range. She hits it. She hits it. Just like that. Just like that.
Just knew Ireland was going to find her spot, pick her spot, and right on cue, there she goes. I want to see Ireland's rebounding statistics tonight.
Yeah, you're right. She has been pulling them down like you wouldn't believe it. And there she is again. It's out. Great rebound. Good hustle by Kiabri Edwards. I love the effort.
Great hustle. Love it when kids get on the floor after the basketball.
Right there. Right there is good.
Let's go!
Jayla Adams from long range knocks it down. Just like that, Spruce Creek is back up, extending the lead to 17. 40-23, 3:50 on the clock in the third quarter. Momentum swing, and I handed it back over to Spruce Creek.
I agree. As a player, you recognize that instantly, and I think he did really give the momentum back to Creek.
And as a home team announcer, Coach, I couldn't be more pleased with his decision. (40-25). Spruce Creek up.
15-point game.
And just like that, Flagler has gone back into a man-to-man, it looks like. Like she was blowing that whistle before that even took place.
I agree with you, Coach.
That's the problem sometimes when officials anticipate
The
a call
anticipation
is
call.
about to happen.
Yep.
They expect it to happen, so they've already determined that they're going to blow this whistle.
Back in the game for the Lady Hawks.
Missed opportunity there by Flagler, Coach.
Yeah, you got to knock down free throws.
Especially, when you're in a situation where the clock is stopped, obviously during a free throw, and you want to put points on the board while the time is still remaining the same.
That's a nice drive by the freshman. I like her toughness, Coach. I like her tenacity. She is absolutely going to have a terrific career and will be playing at the next level. Keisha Edwards running the break to her sister. And the freshman with the rebound and the putback does not convert, but draws the foul and will go to the line and shoot two. Lady Hawks ahead, 40-25, 2:24 on the clock.
I really love Periona's her reaction. Periona Sylvester on that play. She wanted it to go so bad, but you get a good sense of what kind of a teammate she is when they respond like that, when they come up thinking, okay, I should have had that one. It should have gone down.
Yeah, we talked about that last game, Coach. When you're about to draw the foul, some people just want to throw it up, but then you've got players who are at the next level that expect to make the shot even with contact, and they're surprised when they don't. A lot of traveling on that. These referees don't like to call the travel these days. People are allowed to take 5 and 6 steps.
Flagler's back in a familiar position. Opportunity to cut into the lead a little bit with the clock stopped.
Well, they're shooting 1-1 the rest of the night as well. Flagler will be in the bonus, shooting free throws. Juliana Walker checks into the game. She's in there for Spruce Creek. Another player we haven't seen too much of, Coach, but is capable of hitting in the double digits at any night. That's what's so great about this Spruce Creek team. They just keep coming at you. Foul trouble is not an issue with this team. And there she goes, lets it fly. She's obviously got the green light. What a rebound by Keisha Edwards. Swings the ball around. Again goes for it. And look at that. Offensive rebound around the horn for Juliana Walker. Her second three, had the confidence to let it go, and she nails it.
Let's go!
Flagler just struggling to get anything going for them offensively. Spruce Creek doing a great job. So unselfish. Got away with the travel in that situation. Picked up her pivot foot. Good timeout by
That was
Coach
a good
Ham.
timeout. I like what he did there. He told him to go out and set, but the girls really weren't expecting the pressure to come. When it did, Coach Ham recognized that and called a good timeout.
The Belfort Company is the official supplier of championship rings for the FHSAA. All participants at the FHSAA.
Wow. Wow. What a great play. Great execution. Excellent pass. The knockdown by Kiesia, just a phenomenally executed play by Spruce Creek Lady Hawks to go up 20, 46-26, under a minute left, 34 on the clock. Spruce Creek in a 2-3 zone. That's just a good shot by Flagler, taking it to the rack, stopping and popping in front of the defense. Kiesia Edwards again on the offensive glass. The putback, back it up, 48-28. Good if it goes. Whoa! Very close.
That just shows court awareness. She knew exactly how much time she had and what to do.
You know what? Not only did that show court awareness as to where she was, but it showed basketball IQ, the ability to get a shot off. So many times I see players, number one, having no idea how much time is on the clock. Secondly, not using that time wisely. 0.5 seconds is plenty of time. Why? Because you can get a shot off. And if you can get a shot off, an opportunity to get a last-second bucket going into the quarter, I'm going to take it every time. I love to see that play. That play, as simple as it was, watching someone heave it more than half court is a demonstration of her basketball IQ.
Down to 8 minutes, the final quarter here. Spruce Creek will have the ball at half court. Leading 48-28 over Flagler Pump
Sylvester is on the floor, along with Jayla Adams, Kiesia Edwards, Juliana Walker, and Yoki Tassant. I apologize that I'm mispronouncing the young lady's name. Another strong move to the basket by the freshman. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't believe she's a freshman if I didn't read this piece of paper tonight, because she certainly plays much farther above in years with her toughness, her IQ, and her confidence level. She might be a freshman on paper, but she looks to me more like a junior basketball-wise. You got to feel good if you're a coach in this situation with a player like Ireland Davis, I think, having just one bucket, and we're up 21 in the Sweet 16 game, Coach.
I agree. And another turnover by Flagler, and then they turned it right back over.
Looked to be a travel, and we fall down with the basketball.
Got a little frantic there, Coach. Challenge, Chase, to when you have a big lead like this and about 7.5 minutes to go, how you handle this psychologically with your team. What do you do? And it's the little things. And I remember what you said that you remembered from playing in high school, that you break it down into 2-minute sections. You break it down into small things. That way they can focus. They can be present in the actual play. Another good weak side cut. So when they're able to just break it down and focus on smaller units or smaller points of time, they can really actually focus on making sure that lead stays where it is.
Well, and you're giving them You're giving them confidence because you're getting them little victories and little goals to reach, and then they do reach it, and that's going to help them get the ultimate goal that they want. Right now, we've got a 19-point lead in Spruce Creek, and what you want to do in this situation, Coach, you tell us, if you're Spruce Creek, over 6 minutes left, you've got a 19-point lead, what are you telling your team right now?
I've always been an advocate of saying, do what got us here. Keep doing what we do. And Creek has their own identity, so I would tell them, and I think that's exactly what Coach Ham is telling them.
Which I think it will. And Coach, allow me to remind us all here that Spruce Creek is a young team. They've only got three seniors on this team right now. Ireland Davison, Kiabri Edwards, and Melissa Moody. Haven't seen much of Melissa tonight, but I'll tell you what, the youth on this team, we're going to be back here again this time next year, Coach.
Good ball reversal. As a coach, you always want to see the ball go from side to side, and good high post play. I like how she pivots off that post. She can pass. Nice.
Yeah, I remember my college coach, this phrase that we used to always hear, side, top, side. Side, top, side. That simply meant ball reversal. Move the ball to the other side. Make the defense move and not keep them on one side of the floor. That's why, as a defender, Coach, you want to keep the ball on one side of the floor so there's not as much movement. But as an offense, you want to move the ball from side, top, side, and make that defense have to work on defense and get them tired.
And they've got so many three-point shooters. It's just good to be on the perimeter like that and being able to reverse the ball by throwing it to the post, whether it's a high or low post, and being able to reverse the ball that way. And sooner or later, that post becomes a one-on-one situation.
I'd like to see Juliana, when she catches that ball, get into more of a triple threat position. She immediately caught the ball and was standing straight up, allowing the defense to smother her.
I agree, Coach.
.30 on the clock. Spruce Creek ahead, 51-31, a 20-point comfortable lead.
Spruce Creek ball. Spruce Creek. February 21st through the 25th at the Lakeland Center. Command Watch State Champion is crowned in all 9 school classifications. For more information, visit shsaa.org.
Four minutes and 8 seconds on the clock. Lady Hawks ahead, 51-31. Game's been kind of uneventful over the past few minutes, Coach. It just doesn't seem to be a lot of life right now from Flagler Palm Coast. And Spruce Creek, they're almost in a situation where it looks like they're about bored with this. They want a challenge. They want a competition, and they're just not seeing it right now. It's the vibe that I feel sitting over here on the sideline, Coach.
It's hard for high school kids psychologically with this much time left and that type of a lead. So it's a good test of what you are going to do mentally in the rest of the game, and even actually as you go through the playoffs. Right at 4 minutes left. Spruce Creek up by 20. Flagler at the line. Shooting 2. Missed the first one.
And, again, Flagler demonstrating that they just don't seem to really be like they belong at this level of the tournament. It's rare we get to the Sweet 16 and you're up by 20 against a team that you've beaten twice, because it's tough to beat a team 3 times, but I'm just not seeing the sense of urgency out of Flagler right now.
I agree. Their body language looks like they've or maybe ready just to ride it out the rest of the way.
Got away with the travel there. The referees, like we've said, they just don't seem to like to call the travel anymore. You're allowed to take 3 or 4 steps in this game now. So let that be a lesson to all you folks out there listening on YouTube. Traveling is now legal in basketball.
Marina Bunn is in the game for the first time. Also, Jordan Elder is in the game as well. Coach is bringing some players off the bench. I think it's a good thing at this point. I do.
2 sophomores, Coach. 5'10" sophomores. You got to start looking at the future right now.
Absolutely.
And, of course, you want to have sophomores who are going to be with your program the next 2 years to get the type of experience to say, hey, I played in a Sweet 16 game. I know what that atmosphere is like. So 2 years later or next year they get back, they don't have to worry about a first-year jitters. They've already been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Flagler knocks one down, 51-34. The only reason that excites me, Coach, that gets them closer to that 15-point spread that I predicted in the beginning of this game. That's my first excitement of this second half, of seeing something closer to my prediction. Folks, this timeout is brought to you by Pie Five's Pizza. Pie Five, I'll tell you what, when you're wanting a good pizza, you can go to Little Caesars, you can go to Domino's, you can try Pizza Hut, you can even try Giuseppe's. But I'll tell you what, you're not going to get in and out faster than you would at Pie Five's Pizza. You can make it your way, right away, exactly the way that you want it, and you can eat it, you can enjoy it, and you can throw your tray right back on the table because someone will come and get it for you. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be done, but I'll tell you. I just lost it. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be done, Coach, but I leave my tray on the table. How about you? Have they come and picked yours up before?
Not that I know of, Chase. Not that I know of at all. I'll tell you what.
Dynamite drop-in, Brink. Thank you. Thanks for that confirmation, Brinker. Here we are.
34-51, 51-34. Spruce Creek's ahead.
And finally, we see Flagler Palm Coast in a press, something they should have been probably 3 quarters ago, but better late than never, Coach.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know if it's better late than never at this point. And it's easily broken.
I'm out of Diet Coke.
Spruce Creek pulling it out, trying to let a little air out of the ball right now.
We're under the 2-minute mark, folks, 51-34. Not sure I like that drive. That is a freshman decision in that case. I like the toughness. I like the ability to do it, but I don't like the time of the game to do it. Right now, the ball is your friend. The clock is your friend. You want to maintain possession. You also want to protect yourself. They're going to be fouling you. They're going to look to put you to the line. The last thing you want to do is let them foul you on the way to the basket.
I agree, Coach. That's one of the part of the learning curve of young players like that, because that was a good move in the first quarter. It was a very good move in the second. But in this, basketball is so situational, and if you're aware of the situations, as soon as you become aware of situations and how to handle them, then you become that much more effective of a player.
And that's a great word, Coach. That's exactly the words going through my head. You called it on the button. It's situational. Understanding the situation, understanding the clock, understanding the possession, understanding the score, understanding the personnel that's on the floor. And that's what's going to help you make the appropriate decision that you have to make. .150 on the clock. Spruce Creek ahead 52-35, a 17-point lead. Got away with the travel there. Flagler waiting just a little while to wake up and start the pressure up. And unable to convert.
Sean Troutman over there, Principal Sean Troutman with the nice catch over there and pass. He's got a little Buccaneer pride in him.
I missed it, Coach, but I'm sure it was lovely.
It was lovely. Right at 1 minute left. Your 15-point spread is looking pretty good right now, right at 16. That's a pretty good call at this point.
Coach, I'm pretty pleased with it as well. And I'll tell you what, you couldn't be more proud of these girls for accomplishing and making history. Coach, you remember George Washington? He was the first president. You remember Neil Armstrong? He was the first man on the moon. Coach, you're going to remember these girls for the rest of their lives because they're the first team in Spruce Creek history to make it to the Elite Eight, and we couldn't be more proud of our Lady Hawks. And that's a wrap here, folks. Spruce Creek will take the lead and take the game and advance to the Elite Eight for Spruce Creek High School, 52-36. A great victory for the Lady Hawks, the home team. Folks, for Charles Brinkerhoff, I'm Chase Tremont. That's a wrap, folks. We'll see you next time.
Hey,